What is going on, true believers? Happy Monday to you. I hope you're having a great morning so far. Cryptocurrency taking a little bit of a dip right now, a little bit of a breather, if you will. Bitcoin continues to have inflows on the ETF, but for some reason, the price is not doing what it had been doing before. And now, what's the question? Why is that happening? Well, I've got the answer for you. I know exactly what it is, but I'm not going to tell you right now. I'm going to make you watch a little bit longer. You know why? Because it drives it up in the algorithm. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you enjoy the content. And if you don't like me, hit the dislike button. It works too. Now, Bitcoin price around 69,300 right now. A lot of liquidations have happened over the last couple of days. Volatility, not so much. There was just a big spike on Friday. What was the big spike what caused that big spike? Most likely it was the news that we had added 272,000 jobs in the United States, which of course led to people saying, well, the market is not as bad off as what we needed in order to get rate cuts. Despite that, the European Union and other countries are now doing rate cuts. The United States, of course, is the one that makes the big deal. Now, the underlying um, the underlying sentiment here is that there's also a possibility China is about to unban crypto. If that happens, then it's going to rip the lid off of the entire market because you're talking about over 1 billion people right now with very limited exposure to cryptocurrency, despite that we know that people are using VPNs. We know that they're doing it. We know that China just arrested some people for a $1.9 billion worth of crypto. So we know that it's out there. We know that it's happening, but we know that China might be changing their mind just a tiny bit. So if that happens, that's going to be an incredible move and a big boon for crypto. PEPE whales are buying up like crazy. Cardano's Chang hard fork is going to be completed in June, according to Charles Hoskinson. It's going to change the way the entire Cardano ecosystem works. So it should be an interesting thing if it happens the way that he said. Now, the bad part about it is it's still Cardano, and people still just kind of don't mess with Cardano. It's, one of those things that seems to always be last in line. In fact, if you look at charts and if you start to break it out, it's one of the most underperforming cryptos from the old guard, if you will, and it's not doing anything. So we're going to check that out and more. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right.
I can read a chart like a Superman, and I've got a show that has a lot of fans. I'm streaming every day and almost every night. I bought some Bitcoin because I see the light. You might wonder who I am, but don't forget that I'm the man. They call me Bleeves. I'll do any chart you want me to. They call me Bleeves. I'll break a crypto wallet down for you, for you, for you. I built a crypto channel streaming live at night, and I'm the only YouTube streamer who's always right. Every morning I go and say to all you guys, don't fall for all these motherfuckers and their lies. You might wonder who I am, but don't forget that I'm the man. They call me Bleeves. I'll do any chart you want me to. They call me Bleeves. I'll break the crypto wallet down for you, for you, for you. I don't know what to do because my memberships are missing you.
Hey guys, before we get started, I did a thing. What thing is that? I made some t-shirts. If you want a shirt, you can get a Bleeves shirt right now. This is a simple Bleeves Descendants Milo design. Every couple weeks, I'm going to come out with new shirts just to give you guys a little something to check out. You can go check it out in the Spreadshirt shop down below. Now let's get back to the show. All right, guys, if you good morning, then good morning to you. If you don't good morning, I don't care. Good morning. So, J Lock, good morning. OmniCat, what is going on? Brian Bootyhead, good morning. George Lopez Garcia, do you know where I can get the base chain and the Solana chain? The easiest way to do this for me is I use a Coinbase wallet. Coinbase wallet is automatically native to Solana and Base and Ethereum. And then all you have to do is up in the top right corner, change what chain you're on, or you can go into the third tab at the bottom, which is dApps, and you can go into the dApps, and it will tell you, it will, all you have to do is find a base chain, a base chain swap, and it will be native to it. And it uses the same address as your ERC-20 wallet. Solana uses a different address, and Bitcoin uses a different address in there, but generally speaking, they're kind of the same. Also, Corvette, good morning. Real Life Miracle, thoughts on Neko now that it's in the buy zone? I'll get back to you. I did see that Neko was having a dip. I think it's probably right about where I said it was coming down to. And yeah, it's 100% exactly where I said it was going to go. So shout out to me for calling that shit exactly right. God damn. And it reversed off of that spot too. So could that be what you would, the ultimate, what you would like to see out of Neko right now is a consolidation in this range without you would like to see a new floor being minted right at this 5 level. If that happens, it'll be cause for a big spring and a big move off of that, leading to not an all-time high, but 2 zeros 14. So there's a big potential move happening for Neko, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. Fun family, what is going on? VK in the house. Richard Caldwell, good morning. Crypto Sparky, good morning. Richard Caldwell again. Kathleen Blaze, good morning. Vader Prime, RW7610, good morning. Daniel Delgado, good morning. Raymond Pritchard, good morning. My portfolio is, I don't even know how that happens. Like everything's just kind of, I don't know how that happens, Raymond. Aaron Thompson, Tom Collide, Jason Pollins, Jay Manuel, good morning. Brian Bootyhead, good morning. Jeff T, Crypto and Recovery. Daniel Delgado, since you are promoting Fury's new meme SPURDO, can you ask him what happened to dogs? I'll let you know, but I don't know that there's going to be an answer. Just a member of the what they call the dog club. Uh, I'll let you know if I come up with something. Bozo's in the house. What's up, Crypto Antagonist? Evan Bullet Janet is here. We've got Zico in the house, volting it up. We've got Blockchain Bonehead. What's happening? We've got Stefan Mallet. 100K will not happen now. It's time to go way down before it's about to go way down before that. That's just silly. No, it's not. So, and by the way, I've had people telling me this for what is it now? 9 months. We could be having a baby for all the crybabies telling me that it's going down to 48,000, bro. It's going down to 50,000, bro. The people have been telling you constantly that that's what's getting ready to happen. They don't know shit. They have no idea. They have no idea. What they did is they heard from some dildo out here who went silent during the bull run because they were shorting Bitcoin, and they got wrecked, and they put this post out, but people decided, oh yeah, that's going to be exactly what it's going to do because this guy once said something that was right in his life, and now you fall for bad advice. So no, it's not going down. 60,000 is basically the floor. Now, could it change? Yes, it could change. The reason that it's going to change, nuclear war. Some kind of a bigger war than what's going on right now. Something that really would transform how we look at the world. Otherwise, Bitcoin's going to be around 60,000 is going to be the current floor. And you better get used to it because the next floor, when we come back for the next part of this cycle, probably going to be about 80,000. Remember, these ETFs are still positive and they're still buying up Bitcoin and taking it off of exchanges. That will change. It will go up. It will go down. There's going to be variance, but generally speaking, it's not going back the way people are trying to hope that it will. Remington Perot says, how you been, brother? Been working a lot lately, so no chat. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Get your money. You know what I mean? Get your money. Trail Boss in the house. What's going on? We've got, who am I missing? Kamal is in the house. Good morning. John Donnie is here. Good morning. Gregory Ward, what is going on? We got Dude Tyler in the house. Thomas Weekly, Donald Strickland, Iron Lux Trader in the house. We got Martin Perez in here. Good morning, guys. Good morning to everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you that you take the time to come check me out. Let's hopefully can do you justice here, and let's talk about the short squeeze for Bitcoin, right? So let me tell you what's really happening with Bitcoin right now. You might have noticed that when we talk about Bitcoin, we're always talking about the flows in the market. The flows in the market are still in the positive. This is today. We haven't really minted today yet, but look at this. Green, 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 green. the money continues to flow into Bitcoin. Now, from 527, that's where we start. Now, we're going to go look at this on a chart to get kind of an idea. On May 27, where were we? May 27, we were right there, right? Inflows, nothing but inflows since 69,000. Where are we at? 69,300. So what do you think is happening right now? Well, chill out, baby birds. I'll feed you. So here's what's happening now. Hedge funds are heavily shorting Bitcoin. Now, if you remember, we had this move a couple days ago where we went up into that 72,000 range. So what happened? They went in short a lot. There are billions of shorts, billions of dollars in shorts that are now sitting out there at 72,000 because the hedge funds are, and Remington, it's not accumulation at this point. It's not accumulation at this point. It's manipulation of the charts. What's happening is they started shorting at 72,000 and they're actively selling their Bitcoin to help push their short prices down. With that happening, all they have to do, in essence, is sell more than what's coming in every day on the ETFs in order to suppress the price. Now, what's happening here is you haven't found enough white hats, people who want to run this up and wreck those people. You haven't found hedge fund crushers, if you will, that have been out here to buy up all of this selling pressure and to throw a bunch of money at this thing and start to rip it up there. I mean, look, if we could get one of those big green boner candles up into 73,000, you would be annihilating hedge funds. Those hedge funds are the ones that are screwing the markets over. They're the ones that do it every time. They're always the bad actor, the bad actors. Okay. Now, for you, what does it mean? It just means hodl, man. Just hold on to your Bitcoin, hold on to everything because it's going to work itself out. On Friday, Bitcoin experienced a notable dip, plummeting to 68,450. And guys, people are literally telling you, well, 50,000 is next. Come on, stupid. Come on. And then it recovered to 69,000. This movement kind of went into the weekend, and people are like, well, why didn't it pump over the weekend? Because it's the goddamn weekend. It's the weekend. So this movement in Bitcoin price coincided with a significant shift in market sentiments. The shift was reflected in the latest Committee of Traders report, and it says the report indicates that hedge funds are heavily shorting Bitcoin, placing substantial bets against the oldest crypto. Moreover, this surge in short position reflects a bearish outlook among institutional investors. It suggests that many are expecting Bitcoin price to decline. Stop right there. No, it doesn't. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. This is CoinGate, by the way, who's telling you that that's what this is. So what it says is hedge funds are heavily shorting Bitcoin, but then it says institutional investors. They're not the same. Some of them in hedge funds are institutional investors, but that's not all the same. However, let's continue. Zero Hedge highlighted this trend on X. They pointed out a big jump and a new record high in Bitcoin hedge fund net shorts on Friday. Earlier, Zero Hedge had accurately predicted that the latest COT update would reveal a substantial increase in the short positions against Bitcoin. Because it makes sense. You're at the top right now. You're at the local top. You're going to experience some downward momentum. This move drives prices up even further, a phenomenon known as a short squeeze. Zero Hedge comments that when this snaps, it will make Volkswagen and GameStop look like amateur hour, alluding to the potential for a dramatic market reversal. In the world of trading, a high number of short positions can lead to a situation where a sudden price increase forces short sellers to cover their positions via buybacks. This move drives prices up even further, a phenomenon known as a short squeeze. The comparison to Volkswagen and GameStop underscores the potential for significant market upheaval. In 2008, Volkswagen briefly became the world's most valuable company due to a short squeeze that caught many investors off guard. Similarly, GameStop's stock price surged in early 21 as retail investors coordinated a buying spree, leading to massive losses for those holding short positions. For Bitcoin, analysts expect the implications of this hedge fund activity to be higher than GameStop or any other short squeeze stock. So what they're telling you is this thing is a powder keg getting ready to explode. And although it has not exploded yet, get ready for it because there will be an explosive move by Bitcoin. Now, does that mean that there won't be more downside? No, Does it mean that there won't be 50,000? Fuck yeah, it does. There's not going to be 50,000. Take that shit, roll it up real nice, shine it up, and shove it straight up your candy ass, I think The Rock said one time. So there's not going to be 50,000 unless half the world just disappears. Okay, but what there will be is there might be some additional opportunity somewhere near 60,000. I'm not saying that we're done with 60,000. Okay, long term, that's the range. 60 to 73,000 is our little bounce zone. Now, you might get one of those wicks that pops down into 58,000 or something like that. You might get something like that. Generally speaking, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. So, while short positions reflect a pessimistic view of Bitcoin's near-term prospects, the volatile nature of cryptocurrency market means that rapid and unexpected price movements can often occur. So, hedge funds shorting Bitcoin expect a slump of 18,175 in the current Bitcoin price. Why? Because that's 50,000. Why are they looking at 50,000? I'll feed you, baby birds. I'm going to show you in just a few minutes why it looks like 50,000. And by the way, if you're looking for that move, there's always a possibility that it can happen, because when I tell you about other cryptos, I point out the same level, and I tell you, oh, by the way, this is probably where it is. But I don't think that in this instance that we're looking at it happening in that fashion, because there's a new paradigm here, and that new paradigm doesn't allow for what these guys are looking for. Okay. Now, you know what? Let's go ahead and talk about 50,000. 50,000. This is the chart right now. And the reason that we're talking about 50,000 is because of this chop right here. Now, remember, when I tell you about an impulse move and then I give you like a fib retracement or something like that, I'm showing you, what I think is going to happen on the chart, right? Well, one of the things that you can always expect is a bounce down into the previous support range, right? Well, there's two support ranges. There's one right here. Well, actually, there's three of them. There's one right here, which has become a consolidation point. Could it break? Yes, it could break. It's in this range right here. This is that 60,000 range. Now, what I've done, by the way, is I've removed several of these. We've done these. I just keep drawing on this goddamn thing, and I told you guys a while back, there could be this wild little bounce, and we could end up down here. Well, we broke out of this trend line. We broke out of this trend line. It all invalidated, right? So what they're looking for is they're looking for some validation on it, right? Well, you don't have a bearish divergence. You don't have any reason to see that it's going to continue down. What you have is this move right here where you got this kind of wick on the daily, but it's under 60,000. Now, the rectangle, let's put that right here to right about there. All right, so this little box right here, this is where Bitcoin is now. And every time you get down into the bottom of this, buy the shit out of Bitcoin, because it's going to rip back up. Now, what's happened this time? All the way up. What happened this time? All the way up. What happened this time? Half the way up. What happened this time? All the way back up. So in the event that it comes down to 60,000, this is a life-changing moment here for you. Long the shit out of that. Could it come down here a little bit more? Yeah, it can always come down just a little bit more. However, what you're seeing is the continued appreciation of the ETFs. When this happened right here, this was like a violent sell-off in the ETFs over a couple of days. And guess what? It did not last. It absolutely reversed and ripped before we could even get close to 50,000. Again, 50,000 was possible 2 months ago. Today, I don't think so. Of course, I would love to be wrong, because it's a great opportunity for accumulation. Also, down here, you've got 43,000 in this range. We could, there's always a possibility, but I don't think at this point that's what's ready to happen. What I think is ready to happen is we're about to explode towards some upside, and it will require probably some more downward momentum. So I could see 70,000 coming down to 60,000, and then 60,000 just go long and live your dream. You know what I mean? Just go along and do it. But positive momentum continues for the Bitcoin ETFs. So watch for that short squeeze to happen. When it happens, just be excited, because it'll be a big moment. Also, as you can see right here, American investors started marching in the street on Friday because they started selling off on Bitcoin. Why did they start selling off on Bitcoin? Well, I mean, I think the picture says why. Because they're weak. They can't handle it. So what happened here? The challenging what was thought to be a challenge of all-time high for Bitcoin has turned into a fast retreat in the US trading on Friday, with the world's largest crypto barely hanging on to a week-over-week gain. At press time, Bitcoin was changing hands at 69,000, down 2.5% over the past 24 hours. That was far outperforming the broader CoinDesk 20 index, which is lower by 5% over the same time frame. ETH was off 4%, Tezos was off 10%, EOS was off 10%, Solana down 7%. According to data tracked by CoinGlass, the sell-off has led to 450 million in liquidations, challenging 72,000 early on Friday. Bitcoin began heading lower in the U.S. morning hours after the government's employment report for May came in far stronger than expected, with 272,000 jobs added that seemingly dashed hopes for an imminent interest rate cut by the Federal Reserve. So the worst possible thing that could happen in the market, the worst possible thing that can happen to this market right now at this moment happened, and it took Bitcoin from 72,000 to 69,000. And now it's run back up close to 70,000, and now it's at 69.4 as it seems to be starting to reverse, and we're starting to get some buyback coming in. The sell-off in Bitcoin and crypto really picked up steam several hours later as Roaring Kitty held a hotly anticipated YouTube live stream for the first time in several years. The trading legend perhaps disappointed those waiting for some sort of big announcement, instead said little of interest except for his hope that GameStop management will be able to transform the company into something of great value in the coming years. Didn't mean anything, by the way. That didn't mean shit for Bitcoin. In the meantime, Bitcoin bulls might be left scratching their head at what might be needed for a true upside breakout. The spot ETF on Thursday completed an 18th consecutive day of inflows, a streak not even accomplished during the frenzied price increases of February and March. 18 days in a row is where we're at right now with upside accumulation. So why is Bitcoin not ripping, right? Well, remember, there's a whole lot of calls sitting at 80,000. So we're going to see a big move. So shout out to these guys, American institutional investors. I'm glad that you're marching in the streets. I'm glad that you have pride. Thank you so much for your service, but you're all gay. Anyway, next, the crypto market faces uncertainty after EU Parliament election results. Now, here's what happened. This is incredible. Okay, it turns out that you can't just say, everybody come to my country. I want to put a house up for everybody. You can't just continue to open your doors to immigration wildly without some lashback, right? Emmanuel Macron, president of France, has now gotten rid of their government offices, and they are having new elections for 577 different seats. They have to do an entirely new election because the far right has really kind of ripped into it. And when you say far right, by the way, there are some people that say that at this point that the worst thing that could happen to some of these countries is the far right would step in and that they would stop the growth of Bitcoin. That's not true. The far right are the people that are pushing at this point for freedom. They're pushing for that liberty. So it's not true. You're going to be manipulated by the media. The far right at this point is your crypto friends. That's where the libertarians seem to be hiding out right now across the world. The crypto market has experienced heightened volatility as it reacts to the recent macroeconomic and political trends. The latest EU Parliament election results have significantly influenced investor sentiment, adding a layer of uncertainty to an already complex landscape. Meanwhile, the political shift in Europe, alongside contrasting economic indicators from major economies, has left investors seeking clarity on the future of digital asset regulation. The recent election in the European Union resulted in a substantial gain for far-right parties, notably affecting the crypto market with impact on the political dynamics in Germany, France, and Austria. In France, Marine Le Pen's National Rally achieved a resounding victory over President Emmanuel Macron's Renaissance Party, which has led to Macron to call for snap legislative elections. And what that means is, and I'm sorry, it was 705. Not 577. Meanwhile, the right-wing success reflected a broader trend of anti-establishment sentiment for the crypto markets across Europe. Now, that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. However, the news is going to tell you that it's a bad thing. Notably, this political shift has significant implications for the crypto market. According to recent reports, Jacques Kruner, head of derivatives at Bitfinex, has previously expressed concern that right-wing tilt could result in stricter controls of cryptocurrency. That makes no sense. So, meanwhile, this perspective aligns with the broader apprehension that regulatory environments could become more restrictive under right-leaning governance. And this is lip service for you right now. This is the global media telling you what you want to hear or what they want you to hear. They're not looking to give you the truth right now. They're trying to manipulate you. This is look, the reason for all of this is a rejection of business as usual. Business as usual for governments are you take care of the big businesses that continue to pay you and continue to give you tax money, and they continue to give you donations for your causes, whatever your causes may be, in whatever instance or situation you might be going with. And Jason Pollan says, what is the difference between the right and the far right? So the right would be conservative. The far right would be what you would call controlling, or the Nazi Party would have been considered far right, despite that it doesn't really resonate that way. But here's the thing. Countries are under attack by immigration as we start to, and by the way, it's not a malevolent attack. It's an eroding of infrastructure because we're spending so much time. For example, in the United States, the border crisis is being played down by a lot of people, but there is a border crisis. There's a border crisis so much that Chicago and New York City are dealing with it, and they can't take any more immigrants. Why? Because they told you a year ago, hey, our borders are open, bro. You want to come here? Come here. So what did the people in the South do? Put them on a bus, sent them to Chicago, sent them to New York City. And now what's happening? They're getting crushed under that infrastructure. See, it was okay. So the people on the right, they say, hey, stop letting people just come through the border. Stop just letting everybody in. Everybody's not entitled to be here. And then the leftists, we have to protect and we have to save everybody. Those people are wanting you to have not necessarily an open border, but they want, when somebody needs help, you got to help them. That's what you got to do. You have to show compassion. I can show compassion without saying, oh yeah, here, I'm so compassionate. Here's my bedroom, right? I'm so compassionate. Here's my son's room. He can stay with us. You guys can live here. You can still be compassionate and you can still help people without everybody being able to stay over for the night or for the rest of their life. You know what I mean? So what you're seeing is you're seeing this conglomeration of this leftist or liberal media, if you will, telling you that things are just fine. For example, if nothing says this more than if you watch a video recently of Joe Biden where he said, what are you talking about, bro? The economy's awesome. The economy's great. Look at all these big numbers. See that plus right there? That's a big number. See this plus right here? That's a big number, bro. Do you see this right here? And then when you say, hey, Joe Biden, how much does a loaf of bread cost? And he says, bro, plus, plus, plus. The economy's growing. I don't know why you're asking me that question, because they're checked out and they have no idea what's going on for everyday working Americans. That's what's happening. So now you have the right and the far right, and they're kind of working together. And by the way, it's easy for you to call Trump supporters the far right. They're not. They are a form of radical, but they're not far right. It's complicated. And what happens is when you start to open your borders and you start to bring everybody in, and then the media starts to say, hey, why are they raping everybody? Or why are they beating the shit out of everybody? Well, guess what? Then you've allowed enemies, if you will, into your society. And not everybody's an enemy. Not everybody is. But if you're opening your borders and you're just allowing everybody in, then everybody's bad to the people who are already there. That's the way that it works. So now what are you doing? You're reaping what you sowed. You put yourself in this situation, you've created this sort of situation, and now guess what? Now you have to deal with the consequences. And what are the consequences? Oh, Emmanuel Macron is now dissolving his Congress, and he has to nominate a new Congress. And that new Congress is going to be more right-wing than it was before. And does that mean it's a bad thing? Nope, it does not. What do conservatives or what do right-wing people want? They want lower taxes. They want less government involvement. They want more freedom. Done. They want to protect their borders, and they want to make sure that the people that are already there get the benefits of the country that they live in, that they breathe in, that they work in, that they pay taxes in. Done. It's very, very simple, and it's made very complex because the media is disingenuous and they lie to you and they manipulate you, and then you just continue to erode the education systems around the world with people who are like, but we got to save everybody. No, we don't. No, we don't. We don't have to save everybody. Because guess what? At the end of it, everybody dies. So if people live in poverty in a certain place, by the way, when you leave El Salvador, there's 5 countries that you can go to that are not the United States. That doesn't mean that I don't want somebody from El Salvador coming to the United States. That doesn't mean that I don't want that. Everybody can't be here. We can't be El Salvador North. We can't be the country that brings in every tired, poor, huddled mass. We have a process, we have a system in place in which we can do that. So, Jesus Christ, come on. Trail Boss, can you TA Trump with Biden? Trump with Biden? Holy shit, man, that is TIFB. Ain't that a bitch right there? All right. Yeah, we can do that. All right. So we're going to do Trump with Biden. Get off of this because I'm already going crazy on it. All right. So you see that it did exactly what had previously happened. It's got $1 million market cap, 174,000 in liquidity. And now where did it go to? Well, we just talked about this, by the way. We just talked about this. This previous line right here, this is the top of the previous market. What happened? It got this impulse move, and then what did it do? It came down, it retested, it successfully retested. Then the market started turning to garbage for the last 8 or 9 hours. And what that did is that caused this downward momentum. But what it looks like is maybe we'll get a retest off of this, and then we're going to be looking at a new all-time high. What does the new all-time high look like? I would guess, and I'm going to be doing a random guess here, that it's going to look like right up here. The next big move, the next big impulse move comes up here to about 3 cents, I want to say, and that's going to be about a 3 or 4 million market cap. So if I'm guessing, that's what I would think is happening right now. And Tom Collide says, waiting for SPURDO news. SPURDO, I don't have much SPURDO news, except that I saw it was running just a little while ago. We'll check it out because it was up kind of big on the day. Yeah, it's up another 30% on the day, coming out of range. So it's up pretty big over the last few hours. So we made the video when it was at 0.02 down here. Now it's at 0.03. So it's up 50% since we made the video. I'm not sure how far it goes, but here's the thing. 30 million market cap, 1 million in liquidity. It's got a lot of room to grow. You have to remember, I'm also, by the way, doing a video for Andy today on Solana. So we're going to be talking about Andy. We're going to be talking about SPURDO. We're going to be talking about PEPE, perhaps a little bit more. So, but as far as Trump with Biden goes, I would say that it's going to bust out. Like I mean, I think it's going to bust out to 3 cents at least. When it hits 3 cents, I would sell everything and then wait and just take a deep breath and see what happens. Okay. I would do that. It's my opinion that you can do whatever you want to do. But if this were me, when it gets to 3 cents, I'm selling everything and I'm waiting to see if it doesn't dip, because if it dips, then it's going to come down here to the previous highs over here, 1.5 cents or 2 cents, somewhere in that range. So if it rips up to here, there's going to be plenty of selling pressure and people are going to come back down here. So 3 cents, I would sell the farm, get my original investment out at least at a minimum, and then just let the rest of the bag ride, knowing that the ride is probably going to come back down here into this 1.5 to 2 cent range. But fact check me, bro. See what happens. So anyway, back to it. With the European markets facing all of this, then there's probably going to be a lot of people out here just kind of tripping a little bit, wondering what's going to happen. So let's move on here. Cardano's Chang hard fork completion in June. Charles Hoskinson says this is going to happen. So what he says is this. In his latest post on X, Hoskinson shared that Cardano node will soon reach version 9. That milestone signifies that Cardano is ready for the Chang hard fork, with his remarks suggesting that the update is expected to come in June. Meanwhile, Charles Hoskinson said that once 70% of the staking pool operators update to the new node, the hard fork will be initiated. This update is crucial as it aims to transition Cardano into the age of Voltaire, introducing a revolutionary governance model for the blockchain. With this transformation, Cardano aims to implement the most sophisticated blockchain governance system. It will feature annual budgets, a treasury, a community-driven decision-making process. Hoskinson's statement, "In nearly a decade, we've built a nation," highlights his vision and the pride in Cardano's journey and its potential to reshape the blockchain industry. And look, it sounds great. It sounds awesome when you hear them talking about it. 15 billion. And by the way, they're circulating supply of 35 billion tokens and out of a max supply of um, uh, 45 billion tokens. So they still have 20% of the supply, which means they're holding on to about 4.2, 4.3 billion dollars potentially in money to continue funding this initiative and letting it continue to ride. So I would say that this move is probably a beneficial move for the ecosystem. And by the way, remember, Cardano is trading at like 40 cents right now. It was trading at 80 cents not that long ago. This had a really significant and a really nice run. And it looks like we're starting to get a little bit buy-in. Bitcoin's now up to 69,600. But remember I said that some of these projects are just not taking off at all. Well, let's minimize this and minimize this. This is Cardano. Okay. Cardano had a high of $3. It's sitting at 44 cents right now. Now, I just want to compare this, and I want to point out that I don't think that Cardano is going to do anything. I don't think like they're continuing to build. They're never built. You know what I mean? And that doesn't mean that others are. But I mean, let's take this and now let's compare it to Ethereum. Okay. Ethereum is near. Ethereum is within, what is this percentage here? On Ethereum, from a drawdown perspective, Ethereum was 16% away from its all-time high. Okay. Now back to Cardano. Cardano, in the meantime, is this is how far you got to go. Cardano is at best 74% away from its all-time high. It's not even close. There's no such thing as a big recovery here. Cardano has done nothing. Even though it had this nice spike to 88 cents, it wasn't sustained because it wasn't bringing in new investors into it. Because what are you going to do? You go Solana. Why? Because Solana is the vibrant blockchain that's doing shit and not just kind of sitting there on its ass. And it's only 20% off of its all-time high. You see, there's corrections. There's been these corrections that have happened, and there's been these big moves by all these big projects. Look at this. This is where, just to give you an example, this is what I'm talking about. Crow. Everybody seems to love Crow. Crow is down 80% from its all-time high. Okay. Crow is down 80% from its all-time high. We are no longer, by the way, when I show you that, here's Bitcoin. Bitcoin's at a new all-time high. Crow hasn't done anything. Cardano hasn't done anything. And by the way, when you break this down and you see other stuff here, Link is about 50% off of its all-time high. Is that right? 22? It's a little over 50%. Looks like 60% right here to here. 56%, 55% from its all-time high. So some of these things have had these moves, and they've been positive moves in the long term. But generally speaking, there are just some projects out here that have billions of market cap that are just not very good when it comes to bringing in new investors, when it comes into creating a vibrance or anything like that. I mean, you see it right there. Like, this shit is not running. So Cardano, Chang hard fork, is it going to change anything? I don't think so. As of writing, Cardano's price rose 0.35%. 0.35% is what they're celebrating right now, to 44.15 after hitting an intraday low of 43.6 cents. Guys, Cardano's not dead, but there's no reason. You know what I mean? There's no reason. No reason whatsoever. It's better to pick a different blockchain that's newer. Is all I'm saying. Now, PEPE Whale just bought 2.9 million PEPE amid a 25% correction. Remember, in the last 14 days, PEPE's down about 25%. This guy bought 750 billion PEPE. He bought 231 billion, 2.9 million 7 hours ago. This was on Saturday. And then a couple days before that, he's been buying $8 million worth of PEPE. He owns 750 billion PEPE. So, and he's been buying it from Kraken the entire time. So, I get the sense here, I get the feeling here that PEPE is probably set for an enormous run to an all-time high coming up very, very soon. When you look at PEPE right now, you've had, and what did you get, by the way? Let's take this off because Jesus Christ, I don't make this shit up. I don't make this shit up. What happened? PEPE had the nice big spike. It had the nice big move, and then it had a correction. Where did it correct to? Oh, wow. Unbelievable. It corrected all the way to this previous top, which I just gave you guys and said it was going to happen. So this is what happens when you're making these moves. By the way, that's the argument for Bitcoin going to 50,000. Spoiler alert, it's not going to 50,000. But that's the reason that people are saying that is because they see the same structure playing out over here. But that structure right there is at 52, 53,000. That's what they think is going to happen to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's just in a different animal. It's got an ETF now. There's just, the level of vigor that Bitcoin has is just different now. It's different, if you will. So, can it still happen? Yeah. Will it still happen? No. So, PEPE Whales still buying up. So that's a good sign to see. Then, so we now know that Bitcoin is being manipulated. So here's what's happening, just to kind of summarize what is happening with Bitcoin right now. People are getting into the ETFs. They're buying into these ETFs. Institutional is buying into these ETFs. And then what are they doing? They're then holding on to that as a hedge because that's their long-term move. And then what they're doing is when it pumps up to 72,000, they're shorting it and watching the price come down, and they're making that money, and then they're using that money that they earn to buy more Bitcoin on the ETFs so that they have greater exposure to Bitcoin. What they're doing is continuing to accumulate Bitcoin, and they're causing it to be range bound right now between 70,000 and 60,000 because that's their money area, and that's just a giant consolidation. Now, at some point, somebody's going to step in, or some people are going to step in, and they're going to be like, you know what, fuck this, and they're going to rip this thing up to 74, 75,000. And when we look at liquidity and we look at the liquidation maps and we look at it on the bigger time frames, then we're going to get a sense of probably 74,000 as the move or as the play to really kind of annihilate these people, right? And it does look like, here we go. All right, so we did come up here not that long ago, and we did just annihilate at the 72,000 level. But look at how much money is still sitting up here in this range, all the way up to, I want to say, 73,000. So that's right above this previous top over here. So there is going to be a big ass move. Okay. There is going to be a big look at this. When you get to the higher time frames, look at how much money and how much capital is still sitting there all the way up through 74, almost up to 75,000. If you think that they are not looking at this and that they're not going to go for it pretty soon, then you are kidding yourself. Because here's the thing. Remember, they tell you 50,000 is the next move. Well, 50,000 does not have nearly as much money sitting as it does up here. And most people would liquidate their positions because these are close. This is a close hit right here. This is close with a bunch of money. Same as this right here, 66,000 right here with a bunch of money sitting right there. By the time you came down into this 50,000 range, these guys would be selling off their position. They would be having stop losses because they're in enormous amounts of profit. These are long positions right now. They would be setting themselves stop losses at 60,000, stuff like that. By the time you get into this range of like $7 billion, $8 billion laying there, 6 billion of it's going to disappear, right? Because people are going to take profit. They're going to hold on to the money. They're not going to, it's not going to happen, right? Or if it happens, it would be nonsense. Again, it has to be macroeconomic factors, has to be some kind of world event that would trip it down to that range at this point. However, coming up here, 74,000 is in the cards, guys. Just book it because it's getting ready to happen. And we won't know when it happens, but when we see it, we'll be like, damn, there goes one of those big green candles again. Now, ETF. Ethereum is going through a supply shock right now. That supply shock, there are less Bitcoin or there are less Ethereum on the market right now than there have been in years. This goes down to what is this? 2017. There's the amount of Bitcoin, or I'm sorry, the amount of Ethereum on the market is down to a 2017 low. That is a sign of another supply shock. So if I were a financial advisor, and I'm not, but if I were a financial advisor, but I'm not, but if I were, but I'm not, if I were a financial advisor, I would hold on to right now. I don't care what you're in. Like, I don't give a shit what you're in. I would be grabbing a bunch of Ethereum, as much Ethereum as I can possibly hold, not because it's going to be life changing, depending on the amount that you have, not because it's going to be life changing, but because it's going to be profitable. And when I say that, what I mean is I think that the move on Ethereum is to an all time high at least. And remember that all time high is 4,800 over here. And I think that when we get the announcement of the ETF, and what we're watching right now is that kind of consolidation and range off of the breakout here. And, we kind of ended up right at the top where we previously were, right? And now we're having that sort of drawdown because we don't have, we don't have, all of that. We haven't had the blow off yet, right? Well, guess what? We're going to get, a blow off. And as soon as we get the information that says, oh yeah, by the way, the ETF will be launched on such and such date, boom, we're going to hit that all-time high. Like, it's going to happen just like that. It is my opinion. And any moment now, that's going to happen. Now, what is the gain on something like that? Well, we're not talking about a lot. We're talking about if it happened right now, then we would go up here and it would be about a 30 or 40% gain. But if you have $10,000 sitting there in Ethereum and it goes up 30%, you got $13,000. So take your original investment out, and take your 13,000, sell it. I mean, sell it off. You have to take your 13,000. Now you have 3,000 more dollars than you had before. But what I think is going to happen is it's going to end up at 5,600, which is about a 55% increase. And if it does that, that's a lot more. That's taking 10,000, turning it into 15,000. Again, take your original investment out or leave your original investment. I don't give a shit what you do with it. But then you've got 5,000 extra dollars sitting there waiting for the next big move, which is 13 or I think it's going to end up being 9,000 before the end of the month, 13,000. Look, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're about to take off. Remember what happened with Bitcoin when we got real close. Remember what started happening, and it went up 3 or 4x, right? Well, it's going to do it again, and it's going to be Ethereum this time. So make sure that you have enough Ethereum. Don't get shocked. Don't get shocked when this happens, right? Now, let's talk about Saitama on Sol. Now, if you are a SAITA holder, this does not apply to you. I don't give a shit what you're holding. I'm not here to and look, I am not a fan right now of what's going on with some of the people in Saitama on Sol. I'm not a fan of Jonathan Torres talking mad shit about the SAITA chain. I don't care. I don't care if they're I don't care if they're scammers or not. I mean, I do, but I don't care what the narrative is. I know that these guys are messing with these people because they're all about the drama. I'm not about the drama. Okay, so when I tell you I'm talking about Saitama and I'm talking about Saitama pumping and shit like that, I'm talking to you about it because I'm a holder. I believe that the project's probably going to start ripping pretty soon. Just got listed on CoinMarketCap. CoinGecko has been implemented, is uploading right now. It's got $600,000 in trading volume. Look at the chart over here. It already ran up over 20 cents, up to 22 cents. Now it consolidated in this range right here. It just broke out overnight, went to 13 cents. If you guys were on my live stream, I was in Spaces on, I think it was either Thursday or Friday, and I told you that overnight it's probably going to go to 13, 14 cents. 12.78 up to 15 was going to be my range right there, and that it would probably be more like 14. Well, it ended up being 13 and a half. And I was 2 days off. I knew it was coming. I was trying to make it happen in my brain a little bit faster, but it consolidated. It bounced out, and now it's back testing the support. Just had a back test, and then it got support, and now it's moving back up. Could we be looking at an all-time high again pretty soon? Well, that's actually pretty because it's now listed on CMC. Then you have this little run right here. So if it breaks out again, we're talking about 30 cents most probably. And that would look like this. Like it would just make rip right up into that range. And by the way, I put this out here like this, right? And we got the impulse move right here. So what happens if the impulse move is a little bit higher up here? Huh, no shit, 30 cents. There it is. So this is what I think is going to end up happening right here. I think we're getting ready for another breakout. If it goes to 30 cents, what would that be in market cap? About a $25 million market cap. It's not going to be blowing the world up. It's not, it's not gigantic. It's just a good start, right? In the meantime, make sure if you haven't already, I keep telling you, it's different. It's different. They're going to do a lot of stuff. And by the way, this is going to end November 13th at Las Vegas as they rent the MGM Grand again. So if you're not into into SAITAMA on Sol, a good opportunity. And by the way, don't sell your SAITA chain in order to get into SAITAMA. I'm not telling you to do that. I don't have shit to do with any of that. That's drama. I'm not here for the drama. I'm just here for. I think it's going to pump. All right. Next up, Rodney's ugly ass is still running and just hit an all-time high a couple hours ago. I said ugly ass. Anyway, this is the third one. This is the breakout move. I did a video over the weekend. I'm not partnered with Rodney. I don't have anything. I'm not Jake. You know what I mean? I'm not partnered with him or anything like that. I'm not a holder, by the way, of Daddy token either. Because it's Rodney, I wanted to be supportive. So you can see a bounce here off of 786. You saw a rip back up. You saw a bounce here at 618. You saw a rip back up here. Keeps getting rejected at this range of $3. It's going to have to break out above $3 before it makes its next move. But if it makes its next move, what is the next move? Well, the next move is 40% up. So 420. God damn it, Rodney, you stoner. Jesus Christ. All right. So guys, here's that's where Rodney's crypto is going to go after it does a retest. I'm not sure exactly where the retest is. It could break out any moment. It was at $1.80 yesterday. And I was thinking about getting some, but just, I told you guys before, I'm annoyed by the fact that when I launched a token, Elon Muskrat, I immediately gave Rodney tokens. When Rodney launched a project, I get shit. So, we're just built different, I guess. So 267 right now. I expect this thing to break out to 420 at some point pretty soon. Could consolidate in range. The most likely and the best scenario for anybody who's looking for this is a consolidation between 230 and 260 right now, coming into this little range right here, which seems to be the kind of support area going across the channel. So look for that move right now, and then look for a move up to 420 pretty soon. In the DevvE ecosystem, we've got Austin ramped. You guys remember Austin? Austin was the Austin was the chief technical officer for what the hell is that called? Bencoin. He was the guy over. He was the main guy over at Bencoin for a while, and he was the one that was, we were kind of working in the background trying to make something really cool happen, and it didn't happen. And by the way, I don't know what's going on with Ben at this point. I don't know, man. Like, he's training for his fight. As soon as his fight's over, then he'll be doing something. I don't know. And by the way, just for clarity, these guys are not talking to me about anything at this point. I have no idea what's going on with Bencoin. But Austin is now the he's doing the same thing over here on DevvE, a much better landing platform for him for, for everything, to be fair. And not only that, there is now a weekly quiz. So, are you ready to flex your brain power and snag some rewards and win some cool hard crypto? Follow the DevvE announcement channel. And as a matter of fact, let me um, copy this link. I'm gonna post this in here, and you guys can look at it for yourself. There we go. All right, so this is DevvE announcement. If you want to follow that, that will help you here. But what it says is follow the DevvE announcement channel where we'll be dropping 5 questions. The first person to answer correctly in the main DevvE Telegram channel scores 1 point. Rack up the most points by the end of the week, and you'll be walking away with a cool 100 USDT. But that's not all. Your weekly points will also count towards our monthly leaderboard. Dominate the leaderboard, and you can win an extra 150 in DevvE tokens. So what are you waiting for? Brush up on your DevvE knowledge and get ready to take home the crypto. Now, in that context, don't forget there's a few other pieces. There's a few other pieces in place here. Now you might notice that we're talking about DevvE all of the time, but a lot of it seems to be kind of muted. Like we're not really just saying like it's going to explode, it's going to blah 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 blah, right? We're not giving you the wild pie in the sky sort of, oh my God, we're going to 100 million, billion, jillion, trillion, and shit like that. I'm not having like Volt spaces where people are telling you it's going to 50 billion market cap today or tomorrow or whatever the next day is. You did see a spike up here, by the way, over the weekend, Saturday night. It really started to rip up here almost to 50 cents. However, it came back down for a correction. And by the way, you'll notice that it corrected back into the range as it does. And here's what's going on. The reason that you're not seeing us talking about that is because remember, there were some pre-sellers. There were people who got in on the pre-sale. When you get on the pre-sale, what do? You dump on the chart every single time. So what are they trying to do now? Every time we get a little bit of a significant sort of pump, what do? They sell. So right now, we're just kind of waiting out the people. Let them sell at a lower price. Don't give them liquidity. So there will be some announcements forthcoming. There are some big plans forthcoming. And they're immediate plans, by the way, but there's no artificial pumping or anything like that. These guys are not worried about anything except Fias at this point. Remember, that is the token that runs the Litcraft ecosystem. If you haven't already, go to the DevvE Launchpad and get yourself some Fias because it's going to be launching very, very soon. And when it does, should be very, very, very interesting. Okay. So that's all I'm saying. I'll leave it at that. So you guys can check this out if you want. But there we go. All right, guys, that's my time. I got to go. I got to get out of here. A couple more things here. Let's get through this as quickly as possible. Terraform Labs, we don't know exactly what the settlement is, but if you're looking for Luna Classic, USTC, Luna, and Luna Classic, probably going to pump like a crazy man over the next, I want to say 72 hours. We're going to get the numbers for Terraform Labs. We're going to know exactly what they're doing. And when we do, it's going to be crazy. And all this is brought to you by Trademaster Ninjas. So you guys take care. I got to go. It is time for me to get out of here. Remember, got to pay the bills first. I'll see you guys tomorrow. You got 9 days before the contest is over. Cryptonomy.finance is giving away 100,000 USD worth of PEPE. Not only that, we've got a mobile app coming very, very soon. We're also launching a public partnership with a strong team. It's going to result in one of the best exchanges on the market. Also, you're going to get some unique marketing information from Cryptonomy if you sign up today, and you'll get some trading opportunities for free. Cryptonomy.finance giving away $100,000 worth of USD PEPE. This is going to take you through a 100 billion. I think PEPE is going to be the first 100 billion crypto in meme coins. So don't miss out on this opportunity. Sign up today. Helps me out tremendously. Cryptonomy.finance. Don't forget it.